The eyes of insight. Transform how you perceive your path to awakening. In this journey, we embark on a transformative exploration of how we perceive ourselves, the paths we walk, and the potential for awakening that lies hidden in plain sight. The eyes of insight are more than just a metaphor. They are a call to see, to witness, and to awaken to the vast depths of life that unfold around us in each passing moment. As we begin, I want to ask you something. Have you ever truly seen yourself? Not the self you present to the world, but the self that trembles in the quiet moments of vulnerability, doubt, and hope. This journey is about discovering that self and transforming how we engage with the world around us. Let me take you to a scene, a moment in time, quiet and simple. Imagine sitting alone, surrounded by the soft light of dawn. There is a stillness here, a kind of peace that almost feels tangible. But within this peace, there is a subtle tension. It is the tension of the mind, always running, always searching. The first step on this journey to transforming your perception is to recognize that you are not your thoughts. You are the observer, the witness, the one who sees beyond what appears on the surface. Close your eyes for a moment. Feel the weight of your body against the ground, the cool air touching your skin. Focus on your breath. As each breath comes in, imagine it sweeping through your body, clearing away layers of distraction, layers of judgment. In this practice, you begin to sharpen your inner sight, your eyes of insight. The world becomes clearer, even if just for a moment. What is it you see when you strip away all the noise? For many of us, seeing clearly is a terrifying act. It means confronting the truths we have avoided, the fears we have buried, and the dreams we have abandoned. But without this confrontation, there can be no awakening. Insight is not given. It is earned through courage, through the willingness to look into the mirror of our soul and see everything that is reflected back. When we talk about transformation, what we are really talking about is change that is both deep and sustainable. It is not about fleeting moments of inspiration. It is about a fundamental shift in how you perceive and engage with the world. Insight transforms because it reveals. It shows you what has been hidden about yourself, about others, about life itself. The question is, are you willing to see? Imagine yourself standing at the edge of a vast cliff. Below you, an infinite sea stretches out to the horizon. Above, the sky opens into an endless expanse. You are both small and infinite in this moment, a paradox that reflects the reality of existence. How do you make sense of such an experience? The truth is, you don't have to. The eyes of insight invite you to experience without judgment, to observe without labeling. The world as you know it changes when you stop trying to fit it into a box. In our everyday lives, we are conditioned to categorize, to rationalize, to cling to what feels familiar, but awakening demands that we let go. It asks us to step into the unknown, to embrace uncertainty as a friend, not as an enemy. When you allow yourself to experience life without clinging or aversion, you create space for insight to emerge. And it is in that space that true transformation begins. There will be resistance. Your mind, like a wild horse, will want to run. It will tell you stories of why this path is foolish, why you should turn back. But the eyes of insight are persistent. They see through the illusions, the self-deceptions, and the fear, and they remind you that beyond the fear lies freedom. Have you ever wondered why we fear change so deeply? Why we hold on to old patterns even when they cause us pain? The answer is simple and complex. We are afraid of losing who we think we are. But to awaken is to realize that the self you cling to is not who you truly are. You are something far greater, far more expansive. The eyes of insight show you this truth, but only if you are willing to look. Now, as we go deeper, I want you to imagine shedding layers of yourself. The roles you play, the masks you wear, the beliefs you hold about who you should be. One by one, they fall away. What remains? There is a stillness here, a kind of knowing that cannot be explained but only felt. This is the beginning of true insight, the opening of the eyes that see beyond. Our journey is not an easy one. It is filled with moments of doubt, moments when we want to give up, but it is also filled with moments of beauty, moments of profound connection. When we open our eyes of insight, we see the interconnectedness of all things. We see that every breath we take is a miracle, that every person we meet is a reflection of ourselves. In this way, awakening is not just a personal journey, it is a collective one. When we transform ourselves, we transform the world. You might ask, what does it mean to truly awaken? Awakening is not a destination, it is a process, an unfolding. It is a commitment to seeing, to learning, to growing. It is the courage to face our darkest shadows and the humility to accept our limitations. It is the wisdom to know that we are both everything and nothing. Take a moment now to reflect on what you have heard. Where do you feel resistance? What fears arise? These are the places where your eyes of insight must turn. Do not shy away, for it is in these places that your greatest growth awaits. The mirror of truth, confronting the illusions of self. In the heart of every spiritual journey, there lies a pivotal moment, a reckoning with the illusions we hold about ourselves. The mirror of truth is relentless. It reflects back everything we have sought to hide, to avoid, or to deny. As we walk this path with eyes of insight, we must confront these illusions, for it is only by facing them that we can dissolve their power over us. I invite you to pause and reflect. Who do you believe yourself to be? Is it a collection of roles you play, the accomplishments you achieve, or perhaps the failures you lament? Look deeper. What lies beneath these layers? To stand before the mirror of truth is to strip away every label, every story you have told yourself, and to see what remains. It is a daunting task, but one that is essential for awakening. There is a paradox here. The more we try to define ourselves, the further we drift from our true essence. The self that we cling to so desperately is, in fact, an illusion, a construct shaped by our experiences, fears, desires, and the expectations of others. When we rely on this false self, we become trapped in a cycle of seeking validation and avoiding pain. But when we see through the illusion, we find liberation. Let me share with you a story. There was once a monk who sought enlightenment. For years he meditated in isolation, fasting and praying, seeking to purify himself of all desires. But no matter how hard he tried, enlightenment eluded him. Frustrated and weary, he went to his teacher and said, "Master, why can't I awaken? I have done everything you asked." The master looked at him with compassion and replied, "You cannot find what you seek because you are trying to become something. Let go of becoming and simply be." In that moment, the monk understood. He had been chasing an illusion, a version of himself that he believed he needed to become in order to awaken. But awakening is not about becoming, it is about being. When we confront the mirror of truth, we see all the ways in which we have tried to become something we are not. We see the masks we wear to please others, the roles we play to feel accepted, the lies we tell ourselves to avoid pain. These illusions may feel safe, but they are also prisons. The key to freedom lies in our willingness to see them for what they are. Take a moment now to reflect on a mask you wear. Perhaps it is the mask of the successful professional, the perfect parent, or the selfless friend. Why do you wear this mask? What fear or desire drives you to hold on to it? When you see the truth of why you cling to this identity, you begin to loosen its grip on you. The eyes of insight pierce through the illusion, revealing the raw, unfiltered reality beneath. It is important to remember that confronting illusions is not about judging yourself. It is about observing with compassion and curiosity. Every illusion we hold was created for a reason, often to protect us from pain, rejection, or fear. But what once served as protection may now be holding us back. The mirror of truth allows us to see this clearly and to choose differently. You may be wondering, if I let go of these illusions, what will remain? This is a profound question, one that touches the very heart of awakening. When we release the false self, we are left with the pure essence of who we are, unfiltered, unadorned, and infinitely powerful. This essence cannot be defined or contained. It is the part of you that is timeless, beyond name and form. It is your true self. As we confront our illusions, we must also confront the fear that arises. Fear is the guardian of the false self. It whispers in our ear, telling us that we are not enough, that we will be rejected, that we will fail. But fear only has power when we believe its stories. When we see fear for what it is, an illusion designed to keep us safe, we can choose to move beyond it. This does not mean we eliminate fear, it means we no longer allow it to control us. Imagine standing in front of a door. On the other side lies the truth of who you are. But to open the door, you must confront the fears and illusions that block your way. What would it take for you to open that door? Courage, trust, the willingness to surrender? These are the qualities that will carry you forward on this path. The mirror of truth also reveals our deepest desires. Desire, like fear, can be both a guide and a trap. It is natural to desire love, connection, success, and meaning. But when desire becomes attachment, it leads to suffering. The eyes of insight allow us to see our desires clearly, to recognize when they are guiding us toward growth and when they are binding us to illusion. Ask yourself, what do you truly desire, and why? When you look deeply, you may find that many of your desires are rooted in the false self, seeking to fill a void that cannot be filled. As we continue this journey, we must cultivate the practice of self-compassion. It is easy to become discouraged when we see the depth of our illusions and the ways in which we have been driven by fear and desire. But awakening is not about perfection. It is about presence. It is about showing up for ourselves again and again with an open heart and a willingness to learn. Consider this. What if every moment of your life, every experience, every challenge was designed to help you see more clearly? What if the people who trigger you, the situations that frustrate you, and the losses that break your heart were all mirrors, reflecting back the places where you need to grow? This is the gift of the mirror of truth. It shows us what we need to see, even when it is painful. The path to awakening is not linear. There will be moments of clarity and moments of confusion. There will be times when you feel deeply connected and times when you feel lost. But through it all, the eyes of insight remain open, guiding you back to yourself. Trust this process. Trust yourself. You are not alone on this journey. Every seeker who has walked this path before you has faced the same challenges, the same fears, the same doubts. And every one of them has found their way by turning inward, by confronting the mirror of truth, and by choosing to see. You can too. The awakening. Living with eyes wide open. As we move into this final chapter of our journey together, we step fully into what it means to live with eyes wide open. Awakening is not a destination, it is a way of being. It is a continuous process of seeing, learning, and transforming. When we open our eyes of insight, we begin to perceive life with a clarity that can be both exhilarating and challenging. But it is this clarity that empowers us to live authentically, to love deeply, and to engage with life in a way that is profoundly meaningful. Living with eyes wide open means embracing the truth of who you are. It means letting go of the stories and illusions that have defined you and stepping into the fullness of your being. This is not an easy path. It requires courage, resilience, and a willingness to be vulnerable. But it is also a path of immense beauty and joy. I want to ask you, What would your life look like if you were fully awake? If every moment, every breath was an opportunity to see, to learn, and to grow? When we live with eyes wide open, we become aware of the interconnectedness of all things. We see that every thought, every action has a ripple effect. We understand that we are both the cause and the consequence of our lives. This awareness can be overwhelming, but it is also liberating. It gives us the power to choose, to create a life that aligns with our deepest values and aspirations. Imagine waking up each morning with a sense of purpose and presence. You move through your day with intention, aware of the impact you have on yourself and others. You listen deeply, not just to the words people speak, but to the unspoken emotions and needs that lie beneath. You respond with compassion, even when it is difficult. This is what it means to live with eyes wide open. But living in this way also means confronting the pain and suffering that exist in the world. It means acknowledging the darkness within ourselves and within others. Awakening is not about escaping reality, it is about fully engaging with it. When we see the suffering around us, it can be tempting to turn away, to close our eyes. But the eyes of insight do not allow us to look away. They call us to act, to serve, to bring light into the darkness. Consider this. What is your role in the world? How can you use your gifts, your insights, to make a difference? Living with eyes wide open means recognizing that you have a responsibility, not just to yourself, but to the collective. Every act of kindness, every moment of presence contributes to the awakening of the world. As we continue on this path, we must also learn to cultivate equanimity. Life is unpredictable. There will be moments of joy and moments of sorrow. There will be times when everything seems to fall into place and times when everything falls apart. Equanimity is the ability to remain centered and grounded, no matter what is happening around you. It is the ability to see clearly, even in the midst of chaos. To cultivate equanimity, we must learn to let go of attachment. Attachment is the root of suffering. When we cling to people, outcomes, or identities, we create tension and resistance. But when we let go, we create space for growth, for change, for new possibilities. This does not mean we stop caring, it means we stop trying to control. We trust in the process of life, even when it takes us in unexpected directions. I invite you to reflect on a situation in your life where you are holding on too tightly. What would it feel like to let go? To release your expectations and simply be present with what is? This is a practice of deep trust and surrender. It is a practice of living with eyes wide open. As we awaken, we also become more attuned to the present moment. The past and the future lose their grip on us. We realize that the only moment that truly exists is now. This awareness transforms how we experience life. Every breath becomes a gift. Every interaction becomes an opportunity for connection. We stop rushing through life and start living it fully. Living in the present moment does not mean ignoring the past or neglecting the future. It means being fully engaged with what is happening right now, while remaining aware of the broader context of our lives. It means honoring our past experiences and using them as a source of wisdom, while also planning for the future with intention and clarity. To live with eyes wide open is to be fully alive. It is to feel deeply, to love fiercely, and to act with purpose. It is to see beauty in the mundane, and to find meaning in the seemingly insignificant. It is to recognize that every moment is an opportunity for growth, for learning, for awakening. But this path is not without its challenges. There will be moments when you doubt yourself, when you question whether it is worth it. There will be times when you feel overwhelmed by the weight of the world. In these moments, remember that you are not alone. Every seeker who has walked this path before you has faced the same struggles, and every one of them has found their way by staying true to their inner vision, by keeping their eyes of insight open. As we come to the end of this journey together, I want to leave you with one final question. What will you do with what you have seen? Awakening is not a one-time event, it is a way of life. It is a commitment to seeing, to learning, and to growing. It is a commitment to living with eyes wide open no matter what. You are capable of great things. You have the power to transform your life and the lives of those around you. All it takes is the courage to see, the willingness to learn, and the determination to act. The path of awakening is not easy, but it is worth it. It is the path of truth, of love, and of freedom. Thank you for walking this path with me. May your eyes of insight continue to guide you, and may you live with the clarity, compassion, and courage that awakening demands.